All right.
Hey, this is Nadine Sutherland, and you're listening to Primetime Dennis and Carla the Charmer. The meds, you're done.
You done know.
You're
You
done.
done know. That's it.
What's up? Huh?
You
What,
done
what
know.
happened?
I am here. I know
Mhm.
I spoke to you earlier and you were a bit excited, and
I was.
I
I was
am. I'm
too.
actually happy for your accomplishment
Thank
today.
you.
I know you started out the day real rough,
Yeah,
and
man.
things has changed like
Yeah, man.
sometime after midday. And I thought you were gonna come on tonight and not as smiling as
Mm-hmm.
you are now,
Mm-hmm.
because there is no way you could be smiling like this if things didn't change. Wait.
Listen, you know when you get down to the wire
Uh-huh.
and you try to do things in your own timing and everything, and then it just comes to a point where you just have to surrender and say, God, take the wheel.
Yeah,
That's
right, right.
exactly what happened today. And when I tell you at the very last minute,
Minute. Oh wow.
I'm telling you,
And
things just worked out. And I have another happy client. She is now a homeowner, and I am just elated for her and her daughter.
I,
Yeah,
I actually
that is
saw
good.
you I actually saw you on Facebook modeling.
You saw me on Facebook? You never go on Facebook and see me.
I actually went on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
I'm not as Facebook guy as many think, because I'm always, do my little thing. But yeah,
Hmm.
I was on there. I was.
Really?
hmm
Mm.
hmm
What are you reading? What are you reading?
right. No. I'm just, because you haven't got anybody to work. The producer is not here
I
tonight.
was I was told I would hold on a second. I was told that you had a manager and a you
We
know
did. We
an
did.
engineer, a manager and an engineer.
I
But
still have.
paying them good money. Like where are they? What are they doing?
Just full of business, I guess. They're full of business. Blessings to Kwesi. Yeah, man.
Wait a minute. What?
Kwesi said, nobody see me. All right. All right. So
Where's
we
Chris?
are here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
There, Mr. Mullings is in the
Once
house.
again,
Yeah.
another Wednesday evening to do what we do. We're very excited this evening because we have in our midst a little giant, I would call her, from Jamaica, who is currently
Trelawney. Yes.
in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that is an attorney,
Mm-hmm.
an
Immigration.
immigration attorney, and I think she has some things she want to share with us. I don't know. I should ask her, but I did take the opportunity to post a calling number. It won't be a conversation, but if whoever is watching and have an immigration question, I think you probably could ask her. So that would put a little twist on what we normally have. Because one other thing that we try to do is to highlight people mainly from Jamaica, who
Mm-hmm.
had done well for themselves academically. Because one of the objective, and I said one of the
Mm-hmm.
objective, is to motivate, the
Young
kids
people.
and,
Mm-hmm.
and and young people in general to say,
Hi,
boy,
Kamoy.
hey, to my blessings. If I hope you share
She said
school.
she shared. Could you?
Yeah, no, I know that she said that, but I'm saying
Mhm.
I hope you share.
Okay.
Okay, because Tamoy, she was supposed to go to church with me on Sunday and she didn't. So
Mm.
I
So you're just gonna call her out on the show
yeah, well, I mean that's
with
Tamoy.
all that she does for us? She's one of
Well,
our biggest cheerleaders, and you're just gonna call her out like that?
yeah, but you
Really,
you
Kamoy?
did
I
not get any.
I got you. I got your back, Kamoy.
Okay,
Don't
all
listen to
right,
him. I
she
got you.
did share. All right, so what we do, we try to highlight people from the island and even here too, that is doing well for themselves, mainly academically,
Mhm.
people who had achieved. And so, with no further ado, we're gonna just let in the our our guest for the night, and we're gonna just chat with her.
Sure.
So let it no, you guys have to be prepared. It's a very beautiful lady. So she is gonna light up this. Uh-oh. She's gonna light it up. She is indeed a beautiful lady. There
Yes,
she is.
there she is.
Hi, thank you for that introduction. Wow, thank
How
you.
are you?
I
I'm
mean,
good. I'm well. I'm good. Are
yes,
you
yes,
hearing me
yes,
well?
Yes,
yes.
we
Eh,
hear you, and we are excited to have you today because we have some questions for you, sis. We
Oh,
do.
wow.
I'm
You know,
ready.
I am so happy to. We're so happy to have you. We tried to do on Wednesday a show that highlight little giants from Jamaica, and sometimes it's like kids and principals and people that are doing well for themselves. But I think when I said little giant, I think you will fit right in that little area. You're young, you're beautiful, you're an attorney, you're just doing some things, and I think that you are indeed a giant. And with that being said, I am delighted, excited to have you with us.
Yes.
Thank you. You have my head swelling. Thank
No,
you.
no. But we have to keep it real. We have to keep it real. Ladies and gentlemen, in our midst, we have no other than attorney Michelle Funger.
Fanger, fanger,
Banger. Banger.
Funger.
fanger.
All right, that sound like that to me. That's not Caribbean or Jamaican name. That sound like
No, it's a German name.
it's
It's
a
German.
German name. Okay,
Yeah, from Germany.
Is it the German from Westmoreland?
No, from Germany, but there are a lot of. I realized, I guess, 2 years ago that there was this lady named Fanger, and they told me that she's from Westmoreland and from Germantown. That's where it is.
Germantown, Germantown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I never met them before, and then I found out, yeah, there's a set of Fangers in Jamaica too.
yeah, man.
Oh,
I've been to Seaford Town and Germantown in Westmoreland, and it's so amazing to see the little German sitting at the bar or just going about their regular life. This bunch of German people talking Jamaican. They're Jamaican. They know nothing else but Jamaican. It's just an amazing sight for me. But
Yeah.
anyways, we're gonna get straight into it because we have you, and I know you're a busy lady, and you take time out from your busy schedule to be with us and to share with the kids and parents that would have joined our show over the duration of the rest of the week. Because it's not
yeah.
every time everybody's actually here, but we stream on two platforms, which is the Meds and of course Dennis Sutherland page, and we also have Sutherland
Absolutely.
TV and YouTube. And I'm
Awesome.
asking you guys that who is here with us, just love up what we're doing, like it and share it so that it could reach as much people as we can. So let us get straight into it. I want to hear a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Miss.
And where you grew up.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm from a beautiful, beautiful area in the wonderful parish of Trelawney named Hague.
I thought you was gonna say Mandeville, Manchester.
Trelawney, 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 Trelawney. Proud country girl, proud country girl.
All right.
So where I lived was right between the ocean and the river, because there's Martha Brae River, and then we're on the coast.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure if you ever heard about glistening water. It's
Yes.
where like the water glows because
Close.
the
Yeah.
river runs right out to the ocean.
Mhm.
So it causes a glow. So I'm right there.
Mhm.
So growing up, it was like typical country, quite laid back, easy going, family oriented. Everybody know everybody. It was like a village where your neighbor know everything, so you can't do anything because they'll talk on you.
Right.
So you have to keep
Good.
everything in check. Yeah.
So that means you can swim, right?
No, no.
Okay. Now tell me about that.
Everybody always laugh. But that's
Okay.
the funny thing. They laugh because usually with my friends, they all can't swim because usually they think we can't swim because so much water. But usually what we do is like go to the beach and we actually sit in the water. When you look, you see people sitting and talking. We don't literally swim. We just talk.
That is the most bizarre thing ever. You live on an island, and you would think that that would be a part of the curriculum in school.
You would, right?
Yeah.
But no, most of us just sit along the water and talk, or like we paddle. But the thing is that they try to teach you to swim, which is very traumatic though. How they teach you to swim is that
They
they just
throw you
lift
in.
you and just throw you. So either you sink or swim, but it really causes like damage to a lot of children because they get scared. So
Mhm.
most of them. But no, we don't know how to swim. But after growing up there, I went to Farmhouse Seventh-day Adventist Church. I was raised in the church. My mother, grandmother. And then I went to primary school in Wakefield. It's a little cane district because it was mostly cane. So you kind of drive through the cane field to get to school.
Okay.
So it was a very rural, small area. And after that, I went to the prestigious Westwood High School. It's an all-girls school. It is the only
Okay.
school in Jamaica that still wears the hat. You know the old British hat, the Jippy
Yes,
Japa hat,
yes, yes,
the
yes,
bow?
yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're the only school, the straw hat, that
Uh-huh.
wears that. So that gave me the good foundation
Mhm.
of the direction of where I want to go and who, because we as ladies, we kind of, when I look back at it, it was like our own little community. So we went through everything together. Cause some started at 9 years old. We left at 16, some younger. But we were there on campus. So we learned everything, go through everything
So was it
together.
a boarding school?
It was a boarding school.
Oh,
And
okay.
a private school too, right?
Yeah, it's private.
Oh,
I
okay.
have a young son. I knew he would come in.
I can see the German in that little boy.
Yeah, so it was like a little community. So we went to church together on Sundays. We would walk, to our births, walk to school. But we learned everything. We learned how to navigate life at Westwood. So that's why I said, like, because I went there, I know how to survive anywhere.
Mm.
Yeah, so it was really a good foundation for us.
So was it there where you got interested in becoming an attorney? Where did that come from?
Well, to be honest, I did from primary school. I always had decided to help others and like defense of others. In Jamaica growing up, you usually have couple options: either doctor, lawyer,
Indian chief.
policeman, teacher. Well, now it has expanded where everybody know they realize there are several things to do.
Yeah, but more career as inserted in our society. A lot more careers because you're talking about cyber this and cyber security and all these other things. So there's a lot more options now.
Yeah, a lot more options now, and people understand that like college is not for everybody. No, you can get a skill,
Trade.
make as much money. Yeah, trade, make as much money. So now we know that you don't have to directly go to college. So yeah, so that's where I got it, and then in high school you're still kind of figuring out what you want to do. But I knew I wanted to go into law, so I did a program which was focused on law, literature, history. So that's what I did. And but when I finished high school, as always, like it's very limited who could get into the law program, and it's very limited as to what you could study. So that's why I decided to come overseas,
Okay.
where I could, figure out, you get other options to go to college here. So I went
When
to
did you migrate here?
I don't want to
At
give
what
my
stage?
age.
Not yet.
In my
Not yet.
teens. In my teens.
Okay.
In
No,
my teens.
so after high school.
Yeah, after high school, yeah. So after high school, I did the 2-year program. I usually have to do A levels,
Right.
which is the buffer to college
Mhm.
in Jamaica. It's like 2 years. So I did that, which
Mhm.
was, to me, it was kind of a waste because, it didn't get me where I wanted to go. But it was just like, it's a tragedy. I think they might have changed that where people think they have to go there. But now they offer different options now, though, to go into college where you could figure out what you want to do. So coming here, I had a better option of figuring out what area of law that I wanted to do and where I wanted to go.
Oh, fantastic.
But with that being said, I want to know why you choose immigration, though.
Well, immigration, because I went through the process. I have several friends and family who went through the process. And I realized the biggest issue was misinformation that actually caused a lot of people to get messed up, where they end up
Spend a
being
lot of money, waste
Yeah.
a lot of money. Yeah.
and still end up without status or get deported.
Yeah.
So I decided that's what I wanted to do. So when I started law school, I actually started working with the Immigrants' Right Clinic because it allowed you to work with different individuals from different countries and different areas of law. So there's asylum, where you learn from other countries, like what people were going through and how they wanted, to get a better life, or refugee. And so that's what I did. And that's why I decided to stay in that area, immigration, because I feel like I could better serve my community doing immigration.
Wonderful. So who was your mentor?
My mentor was really my mother. I know, like, a lot of people always say they are different, but it was really my mother, because, and actually after she died, I realized how impactful she was with a lot of people who came up to me after, because she was a teacher for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
But
my condolence to you, and
yeah, thank you. But she was always the one that she worked hard for what she wanted at a young age, and she committed to it. Like, like, she didn't only go to teachers college and get her certificate. She realized that in order to excel and get a better life, you had to advance yourself, push yourself to do it and get it done. No excuses. She never complained. She did it. Like, when I was in school, she was going to college, getting her master's. So she can't. So seeing her example of how she lived her life and what she did, I wanted to exemplify her. So what I did was I look at her, what she was doing.
Wow.
And that's how I got to where I wanted to go.
Okay. Just for the audience that's listening us, could you tell me what is really an immigration lawyer?
Well, an immigration lawyer is one that will help you to navigate the immigration system. Well, I'm US based for the United States. You have others for other areas like England and Canada. I'm not familiar. So what I do is I study whatever area of immigration, whether it's family based, that is through individuals who want to come here through family, or individuals who have asylum cases, claims, if that's the way they want to get here. Or usually I tell people, like, you don't have to have somebody sponsor you. You could actually sponsor yourself. That is something like I'll tell individual. If you have a special skill, you're an expert.
Like a nurse.
A doctor, an athlete, an entertainer, an artist, a teacher. So if you can prove that you are extraordinary and exceptional in your field, then you are able to get your green card by that avenue. Because a lot of people always think the only way to get it is through a family. But those were things like I try to educate people. Or if a crime is committed against you, then you're able to use that as a stepping stone to also get your status. A lot of people don't know, because, like, a lot of crimes happen and people who don't have status will say, I don't want to go to the police because I might get deported. So they stay in the shadow. Or you have individuals that come here and people, like, they don't have their papers because they don't have documentation. And they'll say, all right, you could work in a restaurant. They overwork you, they don't pay you, they have ridiculous shifts. You're entitled to a visa, which can help you to also get your green card, because that's human trafficking. But a lot of people assume human trafficking is sexual trafficking, but it's also labor
trafficking as well. Yeah.
So you're saying to me, a person that hires an undocumented person and have them working and give them all that extra work, that is considered as human trafficking?
Yeah, it's trafficking, labor. Yeah, it's a labor violation. And if you report it, you're entitled to a T visa, which allows you to eventually get your green card.
So the illegal man, I'm sorry to cut you because I'm just curious. The man that is illegal, that is undocumented, think that he's unfairly treated at his place of employment, can walk to a facility. Would that be a police station or immigration or something like that?
They could go to usually when they get an attorney, they help you guide you, but you could also report it to any labor board. You could also report it to the police. Because we usually go through it and tell you the steps you need to do, because sometimes people don't know. That's why I feel like I try to educate people, because they don't know. So when you do talk to an expert, then they'll say to you, yeah, that's a violation and this is what can be done. And we help you through the process to get you your status.
But I have a question for you. As it relates to some cities are sanctuary cities and some cities are not. Like there's some states that are sanctuary states that will are kinder to
Immigrants.
people who are undocumented, and then there's others that not so much. You know what I mean? They have
It's unique per state. That's what you're
yeah,
asking, or that's
it
what
is
she's saying.
definitely unique per state because there are some cities that if a person's driving, they will pull them over without probable cause to do so if they believe that they are undocumented. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
like Florida. Yeah, Florida had their recent laws that they implemented, which they're not enforcing, but it's still a violation of the laws. But the thing is that immigration is a federal thing.
mhm,
So,
Mm.
and if you live in a state and they're still violating your rights, you still are able, and law
To the
enforcement
federal
will help
laws.
you.
To
Yeah,
the
law
federal law.
enforcement will help you because if you're a victim of a crime and you help law enforcement, they will give you the certification that you need that will help you to get your immigrant benefits. So they're not outright saying like you can't come to them, but they'll try to assist. I don't like here in Jacksonville, they sensitize officers
mhm,
that when I was in the clinic, they had meetings with them so they understand how to help individuals, especially like at the time you were having like human trafficking, but it was sexual. So some of
mhm,
these were prostitutes, but the officers didn't know how to deal with them, handle them. They would lock them up, all that stuff. So we tried to work with them to
mhm,
sensitize them so they were able to work and identify and they'll reach out to certain, they have a list of attorneys that will provide pro bono services and
mhm,
agencies. So they'll reach out to them and say, we have this person that's possibly a victim. Can you assist?
Wow.
So they do help. And also for individuals that are do want to go through a husband or a spouse
mhm,
and they're saying like, all right, they have to stay because they're being abused and they think they have to stay in the marriage, although
Mm.
they're abused because they want immigrant benefits. Like you don't have to because they understand, immigration understand that people do get abused
mhm,
and they are fearful. So they have something specifically set up for those individuals where you could still get an immigrant benefit.
mhm.
So you don't have to stay in an abusive situation. Also for children, because surprisingly, a lot of children are brought here and the parents abuse them. Sometimes don't even submit their paperwork and have them here. And they think nothing can be done. But there's a way for you to also get your green card.
I
So
see.
these are things that I try to educate people about because sometimes it's very hurtful to me when I see people like they were entitled to certain benefits, but because they sit so long and
Mhm,
didn't know that they were entitled to it, they kind of lose out on
mhm.
certain benefits. Like for example, for the VAWA, you have like if you get divorced, you have like 2 years to actually petition. And then they lose that 2 year because they didn't know or because they're so fearful, they didn't come forward.
So they would have. So if a person was married, got divorced because of domestic violence,
Yeah.
you're saying the statute of limitation is up in 2 years?
Yeah, for immigration, not for immigration purposes. You
Right.
have two
Okay.
years to bring a VAWA claim if you get a divorce. You
Got
have
it.
Oh,
2 years. But
Mm-hmm.
also for people who are sent back home, they
Mm-hmm.
do also have that benefit of a VAWA if they go back home. If they're abused, like in
Mm-hmm.
negative abuse, some people say, all right, well, just go back home to my home country. But if you could prove that you were abused, then you
Mm-hmm.
could also petition for that outside of the
But
country and come
what,
back.
what what kind of documentation as far as abuse would they have to have, like police reports?
That's good, but not necessarily because like a lot of people, as I said, like because they're going through it and they don't have the proper documentation, they don't want to go to law enforcement.
hold
So
on a
they look.
second. Hold on a second,
Mhm.
attorney. Let me acknowledge Norbert Aston in the building, and actually a friend of mine, Adela, who I contributed to our program some months ago. Adela, nice having you. Ladies
Hey,
and gentlemen, we have in our midst no other than the most beautiful attorney I've ever seen in my life,
Thank you.
Miss Michelle Fanger. I don't know how to
It's
pronounce
all
your name.
right, Fanger.
very
It's all
good.
right.
Very
Fanger,
good.
Miss Michelle Fanger, who is educating us on some of the immigration laws. She also indicate, and I'm gonna ask her again, that undocumented people
Undocumented. Mm-hmm.
have rights. That's what you're implying.
Yeah, they do have rights, and that's a problem. A lot of people think because they don't have status, they have to take what's handed to them. You
Mhm.
don't. They do understand that these things happen, and they have things in place to protect,
Mhm.
Mm,
because it's all about a safe haven for everyone. So you
Mhm.
just
mm,
have to ensure that, like, you look out to see. And I always tell people, like, if you're here without status, actually take the time to consult with an attorney
Mhm.
mm,
who might be able to tell you, like, listen to the facts of what you've been through and say to you, you know what, you're entitled to this, or you're not entitled to anything. But at least speak to them, because sometimes what they do, I always call it the village lawyer. You
mm,
always have this person, they're not really an attorney, but they claim they know everything. And
Mhm.
people go to them and then they really lead them down the wrong path. So even if
Mhm.
you go listen to them, I always say talk to an expert.
Mhm.
So at least you can be clear and
Mhm.
sure. Because there's a lot of benefits to a lot of people that they
So, so if a person, they do have rights if they're undocumented. However, if would that change if they had a misdemeanor or a felony charge?
well, it depends on the misdemeanor and it depends on the felony.
Mm. If
So
it's
that's
violent,
also,
if it's a violent felony,
yeah, more than
mhm,
likely, or a
yeah,
drug trafficking, that would be something
hmm
major.
hmm
But with that, I always also say speak to an
an
attorney,
attorney.
because oftentimes what happen in some scenarios is that individuals, which I've seen, where they get a charge, say
Exploited.
they stop them and they have a little drugs on them and they say, all right, if you plead guilty to this, you pay a fine, you get probation. But they don't look at the immigration implications and they jump and say, okay, I'll do that because you know what, they release me, I don't get to serve time. But I always say, if you're gonna have criminal issues and you're not a U.S. citizen, like even if you have a green card, legal and have a green card, always make sure you speak to an immigration attorney that also does criminal, because they're able to tell you what is best for you before you even go plead and jump, because it's not the time you spend or anything. They will explain to you, like, listen, this is not your best option. Ask them to
Mm-hmm.
plead down to another charge or just go to trial.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I always say. You know, people always glad and say, "Oh, I'm probation, I'm just pay a fine, so I'm good." So in those situations, I always say, always speak. But I always encourage people, like, if you haven't gotten into trouble yet and you qualify to be a citizen, it's the only sure protection for you to become a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Having a green card, even if it's 40 years, and you get into trouble at any point, you can end up
Mm-hmm.
in deportation. Because you have people going back to a country that they left at 2 years old, but they never became a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say get it done. And if you have minor children and you become a citizen, immediately try to get theirs done.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh, okay.
like, get the paperwork done for them to be a citizen. Because you have children that are young and then you don't know what will happen when they hang around friends and they do something stupid. Because I had one client, he didn't know he was not a citizen because he's been here so long. It was
Mm-hmm.
when his friends got into trouble in college and he along with them, and he realized, oh, he only had a green card.
Wow.
And he was the only one that ended up being deported. Everybody was a citizen. And always, parents, tell your children about their status.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have some children that even know they don't have status. Because the
Wow.
parents withhold it from them until they're like applying for college or needing to get a job.
Wow.
Now, in that situation where a young person who was here for many, many years and have no connections back in their country, and get deported, what's the possibility of them being able to re-enter?
It's a hard thing usually.
Upward.
What I've seen is that the best way is if they're actually a citizen, because sometimes they would have gotten it through their parent, like if the parent became a citizen before they were 18. So they have changed the laws a little. Before that, either the mother and father were married at the time, and then they become a citizen, you would get it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if the father was a citizen, now they changed, like regardless of mother or father. If you were, depending on the year you were born, if
Mm-hmm.
you if they become a citizen, you automatically have it. So in
Mm-hmm.
that instance, if you were deported, usually they'll bring it up anyway before you get deported. They could bring you back
I
here, but
see.
it's really hard to bring somebody here back. Sometimes, as I said, the VAWA one, the abuse one, because sometimes
Mhm.
you have people who are being abused and they don't talk up even during the process. And if that's an option for them,
Mhm.
then you could come back under that. But it's really hard. So that's why I always say people should fight when
Mhm.
they're here
Mhm.
before heading out. Because sometimes people like will not fight. They'll be like, I prefer to go. And then after they leave, they're like, oh, I want to go back. But I
But
was
that's
saying,
but that's
In the case where they did commit an offense, misdemeanor or felony offense, would that be something that a public defender would suggest to them that they get an immigration attorney, or is that something that they would just have to know on their own? Because
well,
most public defenders probably would not divulge or share that type of information.
the public defenders that I know that are my friends, they'll reach out to me and they will tell people. I don't know in different areas what they do, but I know public defenders, even state attorneys, will tell them, you know what, look into an immigration attorney. I know judges will ask before they even plead, like, are you aware of your the immigration consequences?
Mm,
You would have to want to do, but I know public defenders that go beyond, over and beyond, and will
mhm,
try to help
mhm.
clients go through it.
I see.
let me ask you: does the citizenship um, give you full protection from deportation?
It does, but you have circumstances where they did not get it legitimately.
Hmm.
And yeah, because you have like just one yesterday I saw one where a guy lost his. He's 60 years old. He lost his because he wasn't entitled to it because his parents were with the, I think it was Iran embassy.
Diplomat, diplomat.
Yeah.
It's
So he was,
diplomat. I remember
yeah,
that.
so he
Yeah, I
wasn't
saw that.
entitled to it. And then you have other situation where people like USCIS will miss certain things while you're getting the green card and you're getting the citizenship. And
Mhm.
then they look at your file again and be like, oh, we missed this. You shouldn't have gotten it. And then take it back.
I
So
just want to say to you guys, 847-774-7930 is a number you could call and ask just a one question and go.
Could you put it up? Could you put the
Yeah,
number up?
yeah. We did not even ask her if you can do that. I'm
let me
just,
just say,
yeah, you don't, you didn't even ask her. I mean, a thief, I think, and you just highlight the thing.
Oh, sorry. I
You just
thought that
highlight the
you
thing.
had permission.
That's why
that's
I'm trying to
fine.
say
A
a
quick
one question,
question.
a
Because
one
sometimes,
question. That's
because the
what I'm.
reason why I say a quick question, because sometimes people ask us some question and
No,
it's like 10 different questions they need to ask to even get to
Mhm.
that.
no. We're not upon that. We're not upon that. But
So,
if somebody have a question and they want to ask, you could
But
call
yeah.
847-774-7930. Right? Yeah. All right. So one question, if you choose to, it's totally up to you. Yeah. So big up to my sister Paulette in the building, and
I call that.
Dean and all that and everybody else. But hear me. Um, it is a pleasure we have with us. We are fortunate and immense to have with us no other than I can't call the name. Could you
Fanger.
Fanger. Fanger.
Fanger.
Attorney Fanger. Attorney Fanger. What steps and advice would you give our listening audience? What steps and advice would you give our listening audience wishing to migrate to the U.S. or abroad?
Well, if you're planning to migrate to the United States, like figure out what options you have. If you're coming to a spouse, one important thing, if you're gonna get married, people think, which I have to explain to a lot of individuals, when you get to the border, they look at your intent when you come here. So if you intend to get married here and you come to the border on a visitor's visa, a B1, B2, or a student visa, and they say, what's your intention?
Hold on, hold on, attorney. Let me see if I could get this call. Caller,
Okay.
you live.
Blessed.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second, caller. Are you able to hear the caller?
I
Attorney?
can hear a little. I
Okay,
can
let
hear.
me see if I could turn it up a little bit. All right, go ahead, caller.
Yeah, blessed. I have a question. So, um, a scenario then the question, or not even a scenario, a situation then the question. So I'm married to somebody, a US citizen. I got a 2 year green card. Um, 2 months after I got the green card, she left the house that we lived together, and she just she didn't come back for like 2 3 months after that. In the time where she was gone, she was unfaithful on multiple occasions in which we spoke about. She told me I saw all the messages and whatever. What do I do in a situation like that? I don't want to get back in a relationship with her, and but also I'm scared about losing my status because it's only been we only we only been together what 2 years, but I only got the green card. When I got the green card, she left like 2 months after. Like I don't know, what do I do?
Okay, I'm just gonna give you general advice, not an advice as attorney. So I have to make that clear. So usually in that
I'm not
situation,
hearing, but
Yeah,
it
well, all right,
yeah,
caller,
hear me?
ask the question. You ask the question. You will not hear her, but you could go back to the screen. She will reply.
okay.
All right,
Okay, I'll go back. Okay,
all
all
right.
right.
So,
Okay, so I'm just giving it as a general, not as this attorney. So I have to make that disclaimer. Okay, I still need to go maybe speak to an attorney. So in that situation, from what he has stated, based on what he has stated, that would be if she's unfaithful and then she come back. Based on the scenario, that would be a situation of what's called abuse. Because abuse comes in different forms.
oh,
So in that situation, he would, when he needs to remove the condition, he would have to more than likely do it on his own if she doesn't want to do it with him jointly. 'Cause after 2 years, you have to remove the conditions to get your actual 10-year green card. But things can happen in between then because I've seen couples work out the relationship, like get back together. So he has to figure out what happens when he gets to that point when he needs to remove the conditions. But in the meantime, he needs to collect his evidence of what's happening and keep all that record because more than likely, if he files on his own, he'll have to submit proof of what he went through.
oh, great.
Yeah.
Blessings, Mr. Paul Mills. In our midst. I think where is he from?
Okay, so going back to what we were talking about before we got the call. So it was very important what you asked. So
Mhm.
if when people are coming here, they have to make sure they come in the right status because it's always an issue. So if you're gonna get married and you want to come to the United States to adjust, you have to get something that's like a fiance. If you could petition for the person from over here to the 130, but if they want to travel while it's pending, you have to get something like a fiance visa. So make sure you come. You can't come here on a B2 and then, 'cause if you come at the border and they ask you and they say to you, "Oh, you look like you're married. What you plan to do?" And they say, "Oh, I'm going to beat my husband." They might turn you back and cancel your visa, your regular B2 visa, and then it might impact you getting, any form of benefits later on. Because it's a
So
violation.
are you saying that it's better to get married when you get here or before?
Well, you cannot intend to get married when you come here. So they look at intent. So you could marry before and do your petition from here for your party to come with you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's say for that you come here to visit, but then you say, all right, I'm so in love. I don't want to leave my husband or my wife. I just want to stay. And then you get married. That's okay. If you never intended to get married when you actually came in, that is fine. So they look at your intent, right? So that's
Oh,
a big
okay.
factor. They look at what you intended to do. So it's okay if you're already here and you need to change your mind. That's fine. But at the border, you can't say, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to get married." Or you're already married and they're like, "All right, why are you not waiting outside of the country? You need to go get a fiance visa, like another visa to come in at your B2." So it
What's
depends on B2 is a visitor's visa.
okay?
So that's what people regularly travel on. So that's a lot of issue people are having because also when it comes to working, like a lot of people will come with their B2 visitor's visa and come here to work. And that's a problem because they look at patterns. They'll also look at your communication and see if your
Social
communication,
media.
yeah, social media, which I always
Social
tell
media.
people stay off social media, and they'll be posting.
I'm
And
working, getting the money. Yeah.
exactly, because you notice like a lot of people don't realize like when they do the NBC process where you have to complete the either the visa or whatever, you have to provide them with your social media information. You have to provide that now so they could monitor you. So I always say be mindful and be careful. But if you intend to work, try to get the work visa when you're
Mm.
coming in. But if you come in on a B2 and eventually want to change it to a work, you can. If you
Mm.
come
Oh,
in,
you could change that. Is
yeah,
it?
you
Is
can get it. Yeah, as long
okay?
as you're not out of status, you could
Mm.
change. So if you still
Okay.
have valid, if you want to change to a student visa when you come here, you could change. So you could always change status. You just have to make sure you're not out of status when you do
Now,
it.
now, if a person is here and is out of status, um, what? And they're not married. What can they do? They're working, but they're
Well,
out.
you're not supposed to be working if you don't have work authorization. So you have to
So
be mindful
working
of
is
that.
illegal.
It's illegal to work without the proper authorization. So you have to be mindful of that. But as I said, if it's a scenario where, as I said, you have different options. So as I said, if your employer is abusing you, you're able to get it through that way. If a crime committed against you, you're able to get it through that way. So there's options to you if you look into it. So that's somebody you cannot work if you don't have any status. You just have to be careful of what
But
you.
Attorney Frank, come on.
You're not supposed to work without legal
No, I
authorization.
know you're not supposed to, but in my town, there are quite a few people that's working at these country clubs and golf courses and everything, and they know that these people are not documented.
That's true, guys. Sometimes they do raids, immigration. They do raids and they do go in and they do. So people just have to be careful. Like, yeah, people do what they want to do, but I would have to always tell people as an attorney, you cannot work without authorization. So at least they know the law. And the
But
thing is that if these employers are employing you, they could get into trouble themselves because they have to pay a fine if they're caught and they're going to get into trouble. But if they're violating your rights, as I said, overworking you, underpaying you, you can get a benefit through that.
Mhm.
oh,
You can get
oh.
a benefit through that.
Well, I think we have
You taught
learned.
us a lot tonight.
I mean,
No,
I mean,
seriously.
this is a lot,
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure the information that you share with us will be of some benefit to our listeners. And it is, I don't know, I'm trying to find words to express how grateful we are to have you on our show. It
Thank
absolutely.
you.
is
Yeah.
a
Thank you. I
pleasure.
love being here.
Yes.
It's not as bad. It's calming. Because I don't
Yeah.
mind talking as long as I could help my community providing the information. That's what's important.
But before you go, let me ask you this: is there the immigration laws? Is it vary by countries, or is a standard immigration law no matter where you're from?
It is standard no matter where you're from because I work with different countries. So it's the same standard, the same benefit. The only thing that might happen is that for some countries, like if they're experiencing war, if they're experiencing, like certain natural disasters, they might give them certain breaks
Mhm.
because, to help them, either they offer, like if it's a war-torn area, they're able to get in on the refugee project. Not project, I worked on a refugee project. It's not called refugee project, but they could get refugee status where they work with them from outside of the country and assist them to come here to the United States. But not only the United States, but several other major countries offer that. So the US will get a percentage, Canada will get a percentage, Europe, some countries in Europe will get a percentage of people from war-torn areas who are entitled to a benefit. If like with Haiti at one point, they were ravaged. So if they were here without status, they could get a temporary protected status where they could get work authorization temporarily. You have like other countries that if something happened, like Ukraine, they gave them certain benefits. So usually when they see things happen, they'll step in and try. But the law is general and it applies because some things that we don't experience necessarily in Jamaica, other countries experience it, and they're getting benefits through that. Like a big thing is female genital mutilation, like in a lot of African countries. So they're entitled to get certain benefits, immigration, because that's not, you're not supposed to do that. They think it's inhumane. So yeah, so they will do that for certain countries. And you see, like for other countries that have a lower rate of individuals come to the United States, they have a lottery program where they just, like a lottery, they just pull their name. Unfortunately, like Jamaica, where we're from, it's not on the list because we have a lot of people coming here.
Right.
So yeah, so they do that. So, but the law is very clear across the board, but there's a lot. It's vast immigration because I haven't tapped into every area because I want to keep it specific. But there are a lot of things, a lot of avenues for individuals to go.
Okay.
So I'd like to double back really quick on the employment abuse.
Yeah.
So let's just say the average pay is $15 an hour for a particular job, but an undocumented person is only getting $10 an hour. Would that be considered abuse?
Yeah, it would be. Because if you're doing the same amount of labor, getting paid less, yes.
Okay.
That would be something investigated. And that is why I say work with an expert who's familiar, because they're more familiar with exactly the rule, the law, and what's been violated and could assist you. Because some people say, oh, I'll file on my own. Or, like somebody who's not really an expert in that area will say, oh, I'll do it for you, and then mess up your case forever. So just speak to somebody that's familiar with that area. And it's quite easy to get as long as you meet
the only thing is that if they were to go that route and then pretty much be blackballed from the places that they're working.
That's fine. That's fine. Because more than likely you get your green card, they don't need to work at that place anymore.
Oh,
you go step up in life. You can go work at bank. You could go to college. You could, say that I don't want to work there anymore. Right? So let's just step up.
So let me ask you, attorney, do you only practice your practice only limited to Jacksonville, where you indicated?
No, I represent people all over. Before COVID, I used to travel. I travel a little now, but because since COVID, they realized that we could do everything virtually. So even our hearings are held virtually now. Because the other day I was in Minnesota, New Jersey, the next day. So yeah, so I don't have to travel anymore.
So how can you be reached though?
How can I be reached?
Yes.
You could contact me at 904-930-0039.
You mind if I put that on the screen?
No, I don't mind.
Okay. All right. Let me just put that on the screen. So, huh?
No, I'll get it from her.
Let me just 904. You said?
Yeah, 904-930-0039.
0039.
Yes.
All right, you could find me on our social media platform at Fanger Law Firm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on all social media.
Yeah, and I model that too. I'm just messing with you because I saw some of your. I've gone to some of your Facebook page and I see your little posts and
really, and I keep saying I need to do more.
And I actually heard some of your motivational speeches and all that. So
yeah.
I like it. That was my little research before we get into contact because you just want to know who you're dealing with.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
Yeah,
that's
so that's my little research. It was indeed a pleasure.
You have to come back.
Let me know anytime.
Listen, you have to come back because I'm sure they're gonna want a part 2 of you.
I'm pretty sure people is gonna reach out to me and ask me how to contact you, even though the number is on the screen. But attorney, it was indeed a pleasure. Or it is indeed a pleasure.
Yeah.
for you to take time out from your busy schedule to share on our screen
Mhm.
You're
yourself
welcome.
and the information. I'm pretty sure a lot will be,
Well,
you know.
that's because I need you to represent me.
Let me know.
All
Let me know.
right. You know what? So I spoke to somebody about some immigration issues.
Mhm.
When I actually advertised that you were coming on the show, and they were asking me question. I was hoping that they would show up and ask a question, but I will contact you on the behalf of the person pretty soon.
Okay.
You know, to deal with some case.
Okay.
Attorney,
That's fine. Yes.
my pleasure. My
Thank
pleasure.
you. And thank you all
And,
for having me. Have a
and,
wonderful night.
and I'm looking forward to have you again.
Just
Yes.
let me know. Just let me
Okay.
know.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank
All
you
right.
so
Have
much.
a good night. Take
Thank
care.
you. Bye.
Oh my God.
She
Ladies
was
and
so
gentlemen, there
good.
you have it. And the
So
men.
good.
And the
Huh?
men. I hope you all sharing like and share this live.
Sanger Law at 904-930-0039.
That's how you reach her, and
Mhm.
then she will give you all the information how to do it. We are, oh my God, somebody calling from Jamaica. Hold on.
Mhm.
Caller, you live.
Everything me talk about me papi show.
No, you're still live in up in it. You're still live.
I just love her.
Trouble them,
That's
man.
Miss Dancer. Miss
All right,
Dancer.
let me see. If you're calling with a little question,
Dennis, oh you wicked so.
you're still live. I'm not sure you're calling. Anybody sure you're calling? What you want me to do? I'm still on the show.
Oh my God.
Anyways, ladies
Listen.
and gentlemen, in our midst we had no other than attorney
Fanger.
immigration attorney Michelle White
Fanger. Fanger.
Fanger,
Fanger.
with us. It was indeed a pleasure having her. She had shared some vital information with us, and she told us that she will make it possible again to share her space or share some time with
Put the,
us.
tel-
Huh?
put the telephone number up.
The telephone number I had put it up earlier. Okay.
There you are.
Okay, yes.
Mhm.
That's the number how you could
Or
reach
Attorney Fanger.
to reach attorney. She is a young girl from Jamaica who migrated to the States and decided to become an immigration attorney. She had
Mhm.
indicated that she went to Westwood and she was acting like an attorney at school representing others that have issues. I
Mhm.
love it. I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
Chama, time
Yes.
is well spent. I know you are.
Wonderful. 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 Wonderful.
Yes. And so what's coming?
Actually, next week, Wednesday, we are going to have an estate attorney come on. And what she is going to share, Attorney Maria Levy, what she's going to share is the importance of having an estate plan, i.e., a will, a living trust, and how to get your affairs in order. And why is that important? Because if you own any type of asset, i.e., a car, you have a home, or a business, or whatever, you can put all of that in your living trust, and it protects you. If you, in the event of your passing, if you have just a will and not a trust, it would have to go to probate and all of that stuff, and then they would have to pay inheritance tax and all of that stuff. So a lot of great information that's going to come up next week.
Okay, great. So what's going on for Sunday though? Sunday morning,
Sunday, we are having Pastor
Sunday third, right?
Pastor Thomas.
Oh, Pastor Thomas. Oh, that's the principal.
Yes, he's a principal and he's a pastor. Mhm.
Okay, so we will have that, and I think we have. I think we have another giant coming up from Jamaica. He is a professor and a pastor.
Mhm.
We will be talking. Hey, look, for the rest of the year, we will give you guys some great, great, good
Great information.
substance. The
So,
man
yeah.
is on fire.
Mhm.
All right,
It
Chama.
is. Yeah.
I know you're excited, and I am too. We're doing great things. Have a
Yes.
good night. Take
You
care.
too. Take care.
Wonderful. All right, cool. Guys, I'm out.